On today's episode, I want to give you attachment styles in a shot glass. I know attachment styles are trending. I know they're popular, and I know you can do a deeper dive just because there's so many books written on attachment styles, and people are talking about it all over social media. But I want to give you something that because I think sometimes, especially for me, if there's too much information, it's all slippery. I need something that I could really hold on to and apply to my life. And so that is my goal today on today's episode. Okay, these are broad strokes. These are primary colors, if you will, about attachment styles. Attachment styles, which are formed in childhood, they're based on our relationships with our caregivers, and they play a significant role in shaping how we approach love and relationships when we become adults. Here's how different attachment styles can influence our romantic choices. So, secure attachment. This is what we're all swimming toward, right? This is ideally we all want secure attachment, and the characteristics include individuals with a secure attachment generally had caregivers who were responsive and consistently available. By the way, I know very few people who had this kind of upbringing. Um, the impact on romantic choices as we become adults. People who are securely attached, they tend to feel comfortable with intimacy and are more likely to seek out and maintain healthy, balanced relationships. They choose partners who can reciprocate their emotional needs and are often drawn to other securely attached individuals. Anxious attachment. This is what I am. And oh, by the way, my quick definition of secure is uh, I will give you my hand, not my life. If you go down, I will give you my hand, but not my life. It's interesting because if you feel that that is mean, you're probably not securely attached. You're probably anxiously attached like me. Uh, so, anxious attachment style often develops when caregivers were inconsistent, sometimes responsive, and other times unavailable. When I think about my story and my upbringing, I always thought because my parents never hit me or assassinated my character or belittled me, that I thought, oh, I had a great childhood. They bought me toys and McDonald's and designer jeans, and they never they never disciplined me. They never abused me or hit me or took the belt out. Uh, Now that I'm thinking about it, I've never been grounded. I remember all my white friends were like getting grounded all the time, and I was like, what does that even mean? You can't play. Um, but I realized that they were also never there. They were always at work, and so I didn't get what I call the emotional milk. I didn't get a lot of connection with my parents on a deeper level. They provided the basics. They gave me a lot of good food. They put in the pantry what they thought was to be American, which was um, all the things that the other kids' parents wouldn't buy them, like Doritos and Snickers and all the bad shit. And so our pantry became uh, the most popular pantry on the block. And everyone came to my house because my parents weren't home to raid our pantry. I think that's how I got connection and well, not connection. I think that's how I made friends. That and of course we had cable TV in the 80s, select TV on TV. We had one of those boxes. You had to have a box to get scrambled porn, if you will. And I think the combination of cable TV and junk food in the pantry, uh, that was a great, easy way into making friends in the 80s. All right. So, anxious attachment, the impact on romantic choices. People with an anxious attachment style may be more likely to seek out partners who are emotionally distant or unavailable. Hoping to win their affection, they often crave closeness and reassurance, but may also experience fear of abandonment, leading to clinginess, I call it grabbing, or over dependence on their partners. My definition of anxious attachment is I call them leg grabbers. We are leg grabbers. We're holding onto your leg, not letting go. All right, avoidant attachment. Characteristics typically develops when caregivers were emotionally unavailable or dismissive, leaving the child to become self-reliant. A lot of kids who had to grow up very fast or take care of their younger siblings. And they become kind of wary of closeness, right? And the impact on romantic choices. As adults, those with an avoidant attachment style may avoid intimacy and emotional closeness. They often choose partners who are also emotionally distant or might struggle to maintain relationships because they find value, independence, and self-sufficiency over connection. And my quick definition of avoidant is I love you, get away. So avoidant is just that. It's people who would rather they feel anxiety with connection and closeness. They feel calm with distance and space. What's also interesting is I think anxious and avoidance tend to attract each other. I mean, think about it. If you have two avoidants in a relationship, there's no relationship because no one, everyone's running, everyone wants space. If you have two anxious attached people in a relationship, it's just suffocation, right? Now, look, there's a spectrum, right? We're not like it's not like black and white. There's different degrees. Even though, for example, me, I'm anxiously attached, but I've also come a long way, and I would like to think I'm more securely attached now, but I did start anxiously attached, and I still have the residue from that. I still snap back. That is my go-to. But I've done a lot of work where I feel like I'm more. I mean, hopefully, many may argue. My partner may argue, but disagree. But I think I am more securely attached than anxiously attached today. All right, fearful avoidant, or what they call disorganized attachment. Characteristics. This style can develop from chaotic or abusive early experiences where caregivers were sources of both comfort and fear. Impact on romantic choices. These individuals often experience conflicting desires for intimacy and independence. They may have a hard time trusting others and can be drawn to relationships that are similarly unstable or tumultuous. I think for disorganized, chaos is the calm. You know what I'm saying? Like what smells familiar is something chaotic. And I think because of that, if they find something more safe and grounded, that could come off as boring. So for these people, my go-to is come with me into the riptide. That's what that is. All right. Attachment styles can create patterns that repeat across relationships. For example, someone with an anxious attachment style might repeatedly choose partners who reinforce their fears or abandonment. Some attachment styles naturally complement each other. Like I was saying, I believe that the anxious, or I've witnessed not only in my personal life, but also with clients, anxious and avoidance tend to attract each other, right? It's the polarity, right? The opposites attract. Like a secure okay, so some attachment styles naturally complement each other, like a secure individual helping an anxious partner feel more at ease. However, mismatched attachment styles can also create tension, like an anxious person paired with an avoidant partner. Growth and change. While attachment styles can influence who we choose to love, they are not fixed. Here's the good news. Through self-awareness, therapy, and healthy relationships, a big thing for me is giving ourselves corrective love experiences, right? Rewiring ourselves, our body, not just our logic. Individuals can develop more secure attachment patterns over time. And like changing your body, I mean, you know how hard it is to change your body, right? Diet, exercise, as a practice, as a lifestyle, not a one time thing. This is the same. And I think people don't realize how much effort, energy, and tension it takes to like rewire yourself. I mean, you're talking about dissolving early imprints from childhood um, that really has formed you, and then intentionally rewiring, repositioning, repairing yourself so from the inside out you are um, new and different, and that's going to take a lot of reps. Understanding your own attachment style and that of your partner can be crucial in fostering healthier, more fulfilling relationships. I gotta say, and I think this is why attachment styles are so important. I mean, not are they're so popular these days. Is uh, I didn't think about them as much before, especially in my 20s and even in my 30s. Um, but once I learned about how our childhood wounds or how we were raised manifest into how we love and who we choose to love as adults, it was such a revelation. This understanding, this connecting of dots, really, it was so helpful because then I start to see myself in relationships and also take responsibility for my own anxiety. Instead of blaming someone because they're not loving you in the way that you want them to, realizing, oh, it's this residue I have from childhood, this attachment style, and it's my work. It's my work to swim towards secure. It's my work to self-soothe, to reparent. It's my work to sit with my own anxiety. And that's the hard part. That's where most people drop the ball. Most people are like pointing fingers. Um, you need to lessen my anxiety. I mean that's and then vice versa too. So if two people saying, okay, I want you to take care of me this way, or because someone's not loving you in the way that you want them to because of your attachment style, you are blaming them or judging them, and it's not that they're loving you less; they're loving you according to their attachment style. And so just understanding our upbringing and how that impacts us today, it's foundational. It's not extra. This I think is more important, because it's builds the legs of a relationship. This to me is more important than like where you're going. Like, I mean, I think values are super important and stuff, but like, these logistics that we put a lot of weight on, like, do you want to have children? What do you see yourself doing in 3 years? And what kind of music do you like? And those are all important, of course. But listen, what's happening underneath, right? Like the stuff that is creating conflict, activation, right? That stuff that has to be worked through. That has to be looked at and explored, or nothing else matters. The relationship, the plane's going to go down unless people are understanding the currents that are happening underneath and why they are showing up in the way that they show up. uh, it's foundational. And I think this exploration and processing and talking to your partner about this, and this understanding of how we are attached the way we are, how we are loving based on our attachment style, um, that understanding is going to it's going to clarify clear it's going to make sense. It's going to make your love make more sense. Does that make sense? And with that understanding, there's more capacity, there's more compassion, there's more room for um, empathy. You realize you're not right, you know, And then, of course, through that process, you guys are building a safer container for the relationship to grow, instead of just ego and pointed fingers. Anyway, that's today's lesson or reminder about attachment styles. Whether you're in a relationship or not, I believe it's our own responsibility to do a deep dive on our own history, how we were raised, what that did to us, our wounds, and how those attachment styles manifest today as adults. That's I think the buy-in. It's the ante to set the table of love. I think that's the buy-in. Is that's your work. You understand yourself, so you could tell me, and I'll work on understanding myself, so I could tear you, so I could tear you, so I could tell you, and together we will understand each other better. That effort to understanding is love. That is love in action. It's not just hot sex and chocolates, Uh, I mean, that's part of it as well. I enjoy hot sex more than chocolates, definitely. But our willingness and intention to understand ourselves better, which is, of course, a lifelong process, and also as well as understanding our partner, their stories, and then coming together, sharing that, and as a couple, continuing to understand each other better. That is loving each other. Anyway, thank you for listening. Be well.